Staying with a technology showcase theme, we're now going to talk about NOV and the things that they're doing to disrupt and innovate in the water sector, in particular with fiberglass and thermoplastics. Here is the Global Vice President for Water, Randy Cable, sharing some more. Randy, wonderful to connect with you today. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Pierce. Glad to be here.
Now, I've known you for many years, and you've been in various different roles, but for the last few years, you've been working at NOV. So let's start with, who are NOV? What do you do?
Well, NOV is National Oil Well of ARCO, and I work within their fiberglass systems division, and I'm their global vice president for water, environmental, and flow solutions.
Okay, so NOV does stuff in fiberglass and thermoplastics. Thermoplastics, a bit we're going to be talking about today, I think, and in particular across multiple sectors. But you're Mr. Utilities, Mr. Water Global, aren't you?
I am. I've been fortunate to lead our water, environmental, and flow solutions group for our thermoplastics. Pierce, they're headquartered in Plymouth, the UK. And so it's a very unique operation, but that's where we sit.
Excellent. Now, okay, so for people who aren't familiar, what is a thermoplastic?
Thermoplastics basically can be made of many different materials, but it's something that is easily formable. It's customized with regards to shape and form and structures, and it's the only facility within our portfolio that sits and do these products that are in the UK.
Okay. All right. Again, I want to make sure, because in the water sector, in the utility sector generally, we're used to concrete, we're used to cast iron, and we're getting more familiar with plastic material and the benefits of them. But essentially what NOV does is you can make all sorts of things. I'm going to talk about a few of them out of thermoplastics. And it's the benefits of thermoplastics over some of these conventional materials that I'd like to just pick at for a bit.
Sure. Well, the first and foremost is the corrosion resistant aspect of it, and the customization that can be done with regards to whatever applications, and from CSO chambers, manholes, pipe. It's endless really with regards to the applications, but the corrosion resistant aspect of it is one of the most formidable, if you would, benefits of thermoplastics.
Yeah, so you've got corrosion resistant, you've got manufactured offsite and being able to brought in, which cuts down street works time, it cuts down health and safety issues. It just makes life so much easier to be able to design and construct offsite and bring to site and sort of slot into a hole in the ground if it's a CSO chamber, for example.
Absolutely. The offsite build is something that we do. We provide a 3D modeling from a design aspect. But then it's completely, captured in rebar. It's formed, and literally, when you bring it to site, it's a plug and play. You put it into the opening, cuts down on traffic conditions, things of that nature. It's really, it ticks all the boxes with regards to the benefits of doing the offsite build. And we find that it's really something that the utilities are interested in with regards to the ease of the installation. Certainly, the contractors are.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's talk about a specific example. And you shared with me a couple of examples. There was one with Yorkshire Water, a CSO, Cricketers Crescent, I think it was called, Cricketers Inn Crescent. Just walk me through some of the features of that particular installation.
Well, that was an offsite build. It was on a busy street. So we wanted to minimize the opening and the traffic impact. We worked closely with the contractor Galliford Try, and it was a replacement of a brick-built unscreened chamber. So there were a number of other suppliers that were involved in the project as well, and really a success story because they were able to reduce their sewage spills by 75%. They amortized that then again over a 20-year period, and the numbers just astronomical in terms of what they were able to achieve. But that was one of the primary ones that just recently has happened.
Yeah, I used to be the asset director for Thames Water, and schemes like this that look so neat, a project that's run like clockwork, and at the end, it's a working, smooth running facility is music to the ears of any asset director or operator listening to this right now. Now, CSOs is the thing that we often talk about for offsite built solutions. Dig a hole in the ground, slot the CSO in, and it's running. And that example from Yorkshire Water is great. There are some other applications which you've been doing. So you mentioned before we got on this call something around manholes, intelligent manholes. You actually used the phrase, "It's difficult to make a manhole sexy, but I think we've done it." Share more.
Well, with manholes, you're the typical material construction is concrete, and we've been able to do some really unique things just recently where you've got a typical manhole, but your fluid controls on the bottom, but then we've also been able to put flanges on this so that there's cabling. It could be telecommunications or even electrical that's able to go through the manhole as well. And got a couple unique applications that these are now being utilized or being considered for. And I kind of just thought that's a little bit something that's outside the norm from a manhole that you see every day, that you drive over, that's there. But what's below the surface is kind of unique. And from a customization standpoint, these are going to be used in a football stadium. So there's quite a few of these. But again, the benefit is that they're going to be able to provide cabling through this.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing the telecommunications through the manhole cover, which you can do, of course, with more traditional ones, but it's very expensive. And actually, can these manhole covers, these thermoplastic manhole covers, go on roads? Are they strong enough to have heavy lorries going over the top of them? Or
Sure. In the U.S., we call it an H20 traffic loading, but the same is similar to the U.K. So yes, they're able to go within the surface streets.
Excellent. All right. So we've done how to make a manhole sexy. I think you've even also made a sludge pipe sexy as well, haven't you? So tell us about how you made a sludge pipe sexy.
Well, we took our ChemSafe dual contain pipe, and this particular application was very unique in that they had to transfer sludge from one facility to another, and it had to go over a river. And so they chose our ChemSafe pipe because of the dual contained aspect of it. And
just explain what dual contained is. One pipe inside another.
That's correct. And simplifying, it's one pipe within another. And so the sludge itself is being transferred over a river using our dual contained pipe, and so that there's zero chance for spillage into the river itself. But for me, it's a fairly unique application. Typically, these pipes are used in pharmaceutical or some type of a biohazard application, where containment is paramount with regards to the application. And so, but the utility lens that I look through, and everything, I'm all things about utilities, is I found that to be a fairly unique offering to handle sludge.
Yeah, I mean, the CSOs, there's going to be tens of thousands of applications where CSO chambers, prefabricated CSO chambers, or offsite fabricated CSO chambers could be needed. For the dual contained, or the dual contained, is that the right phrase? Yes, dual contained pipe. That is a specialist application, but when you need it, man, you need it. If you're going under a railway line or over a river or something like that, where you just can't afford to have failure, and that might be for sludge, or it might be for other fluids that need to be transported over in critical areas. All right, you've made manholes sexy, you've made sludge pipes sexy. I think maybe you haven't made odor control sexy, but it's a good example of showing just the variety, the wide variety of things that can be done with thermoplastics. So let's finish with just talking about the odor control facilities that you've been dealing with.
It's something that's recently become of interest, and we've had a number of inquiries where we've actually we've designed it and then supplied these odor control covers. So if you've got an area that where you've got odors that are leaking out that you need to control, we've actually just manufactured a cover that actually fits over the opening itself, that can be vented, and then, control from that aspect.
Brilliant. Well, the reason we're doing this interview today is because you've been doing this for many years in North America. You're now expanding out, and you're present outside of North America, but now you've got a bigger drive, a bigger push to expanding these services to the wider market, in particular in Europe. And Randy, I really appreciate the time you've taken today to give us that insight, and I wish you the absolute best in your endeavors.
Thank you, Piers. I appreciate that as well.
Now, as mentioned, NOV are very well established in the US, and they're looking to bring their technology into other areas. If you're interested in knowing more, please let me know and I'll do an introduction.